All right, legends, we're going to be taking a look at the price of Bitcoin. I do still believe, based on the technical analysis, that we should be heading up above $102,000 in the next coming days. However, this range is getting very boring and very long. We're just testing highs, testing lows. Now, when we were talking about the breakout, right, the movement to the upside, will this be the one that finally climbs up to get above $102,000? We finally rejected from the naked point of control. Now, this naked point of control is from the price action here from the 4th of February on Tuesday, right? We get the session volume profile. Okay, this is looking good. We're above the naked point of control. We're above the highs of the mini range of the last few days. Hey, this has a chance to continue that momentum. We finally rejected. Okay, and we came back down to test the lows again below $96,000. It was an acceptable short position. It was something that could happen, as we mentioned on the previous stream. Okay, get the fake out and we come back down to the lows. Now, I missed out on this short position. I'm not sure if you did, but it was an option, right? Get beneath naked point of control. Your stop loss is above the high. Hey, we're targeting the lows. It's still going to give us a 3 to 4, right? Risk to reward. I'm not sure if you did. I'd missed it, but I'm in the long position because coming back down to the lows, we say, hey, if we test the lows again, I'm interested in the same scenario. Swing failure pattern, highs, lows, highs, lows, highs, lows. We try and long the lows, we try and short the highs. So I'm in that long position from the lows, expecting to see if we can start moving to the upside, heading to $102,000 in the next coming days. Okay, so that is also the option from the previous stream. Maybe some of you managed to get into the short, maybe some of you into the long position. Remember, if you're interested in trading, guys, weeks, I've been testing weeks out for the last few months. I'm absolutely loving it, okay? You get the biggest bonus down below with the second link in the description, okay? 50% fee reduction on your trades and $20,000 deposit bonus. You just need an email and a password. Now, if you can trade on Bybit, I would go with Bybit, guys. Bybit is a great platform, okay? I've been trading there for years. Now, alternative, you have weeks, of course, because you just need an email and a password. So in this video update, we need to come to the conclusion of, okay, come on, what is going to happen? First of all, let's go to the 1 hourly time frame. And I just want to give you a brief explanation how I do still believe that all of this is kind of part of a corrective move and that we should be hitting all-time highs in the next coming weeks, okay? Not coming days. I believe it might be 1, 2, even 3 weeks, guys, that we do head up there, okay? We'll be focusing mainly on the local technical analysis. Now, if we want to go very bearish, and this is a double top, it is over. We're going to be breaking down below $90,000 and get an aggressive move down to, you know, 80K or even 70K, right? All of those higher time frame traders. Now, this movement to the downside from all-time high is not looking incredibly impulsive, right? We want to see a massive impulsive move with 5 waves, right? Preferably with the third wave being with a high volume, clear 5 waves to say, okay, guys, this isn't looking good. We could have continuation to the downside. However, this movement to the downside looks extremely corrective, and there's loads of 3 waves in the middle, right? Inside, it just doesn't look like a strong move to the downside, looking very impulsive. The only way to count this as a 5-wave move to the downside is looking at an expanding diagonal, right? Where you have your first wave 1 from the drop 2, 3, 4, and 5. First wave move down, okay, from the all-time high. This is the only way. Now, the problem with this scenario is that you do have the correction also from the previous all-time high in December of 2024. That was also a 3-wave move, not a 5-wave impulsive move to the downside. And this also to the upside does count best as a 3-waver. So if this is going to be a 5-wave move down, it's an expanding diagonal, you would wait for your wave 2 here to the upside, which most commonly gets, you know, to the 618 and to the 78 Fibonacci zones, which you kind of already have had that move to the 50% Fibonacci, which is with this move that we had last week from Monday to Tuesday. However, this movement up looks very one-wavy and very impulsive, right? This was where we had a double 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5. It looks very impulsive and also very one-wavy. that means only one thing. Hey, where is the next wave? Because the market moves in either 3 waves or 5 waves. So we only got one wave here to the upside. This very long corrective structure throughout the entire week. So we would expect one more wave up. Regardless if this is going to be ending up bearish, you have the expanding wave here to the downside in 5 waves. You get a zigzag right over here, and then you roll over. This ends up being the wave 2, and yes, this ends up bearish, right? We're going to be analyzing very carefully that next leg here to the upside, but still confident based on the analysis that, come on, we need one more leg up here, right? We need that 3 wave. Regardless if it's going to be 3 waves or 5 waves up to all-time high, we kind of still need that leg to the upside, right? We need a 3-wave move. So the thing about this being bearish, okay, the only bearish case scenario, the all-time high is in, the first initial wave 1 is a 5-wave expanding move, which is extremely rare on its own. We'll still be looking at the zigzag, and then we form the wave 2 and we break down. However, there is a high probability that this movement, okay, to the downside in an expanding move is a wave C inside of a flat structure, because there is another situation here. The previous all-time high in December of 2024. This does not look like a bearish impulsive move. It's a 3-wave structure. It's very corrective. This movement to the upside does count better as a 3-waver, okay? So there is a chance of a running flat here where you have a zigzag to the downside, a zigzag to the upside on all-time high, and now you have this expanding move down in your wave C, forming that ABC flat, and now you're going to start recovering to all-time high in the next few weeks, right? This is looking at the hourly chart. So overall, higher time frame still leaning on the bullish side, right? The all-time high is very likely to come. If we're looking at this as bearish, it's an expanding move. You know, if you take a look at the last price action of the last few weeks, it still does not look good for this to be your wave 1, wave 2, and boom, we're going to break in a wave 3 down. Okay, so we're leaning a little bit more bullish on the higher time frame, believing that with the technical analysis, we should be hitting another all-time high. Now let's focus on the 15-minute time frame right away, okay, and just go with this structure, because we've been talking about of so many different corrective scenarios that could happen here, which is just, you know, it's just making it's getting, I'm getting tired, guys. I have to be honest, right? We've got a zigzag here. We've got a possible flat right there. Is this the flat right there? Is this a double flat? And now we're just forming a double 1, 2, and we're just going to start moving to the upside finally throughout today and tomorrow. Or, you know, are we going to have one more leg to the downside? So let's go through the scenarios, right? And there is a problem here to count this as a flat, okay? This latest move that we had Friday evening counts very 3-wavy, right? We can zoom in on the 15-minute, 5-minute. It doesn't matter. It does look very 3-wavy. There is a problem. You could not have a 3-wave move in a C wave. So for this to be a flat, I don't think so. We would have to see a pretty clear 5-wave move down. So there's other scenarios, right? There is other scenarios, and I got a few of them here ready. Now, there is this scenario, which is the bearish one. Anybody that is bear, okay, is a bear and is saying, dude, this is not going to be bullish. We're going to head down to $90,000. And yeah, you know, the only bearish way to count this is looking at the 15-minute time frame, looking at this as an expanding move down, right? Because anybody that's been paying attention throughout last week, we absolutely nailed this double 1, 2. We were looking at an expanding move, but overall looking for longs. Beautiful long position from $94,500 range, right? Hitting the VWAP, speculating on a 3rd wave, or it doesn't matter, hitting the highs, right? And we hold on to that long position if we get the successful breakout. This was a beautiful long trade mentioned on the live stream on Monday. So we got that move up. This looks incredibly impulsive, guys. This is just impulsive. This would have to be a C wave inside of a corrective structure, and there's just no way to count this as a C wave. This is looking very impulsive. So the overall idea is that this high has to be taken to form that 3 wave or that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It doesn't matter. Overall, it looks more bullish. So the only bearish case scenario that this move is part of a correction, which I cannot find out, guys. If you can find out, let me know in the Discord, in the free Discord, if you're not in the pro section. But overall, I see this as a first wave 1 or a wave A. In all of this that we are forming throughout this week, right, since Tuesday, is either a wave B or a wave 2. Now, it's looking like it could be a wave B just because of the timing. If you are much longer in time, 4 or 5 times longer than this first initial wave, it's more common to see it in a B wave, right? B waves can be very long in time. But for a wave 2, it is usually, you know, maybe double, triple, max, right, on average. Very rare to see it 5 times longer than your wave 1, okay, a wave 2. So it's looking like it could be a wave B. Regardless, we're still looking for the wave this high to be taken with a wave 3 or a wave C, okay? It doesn't matter. We are looking for that push to the upside. So let's take a look here at the different scenarios, right? For all of those bears out there, the only bearish case scenario that I could come up with is an expanding move to the downside, right? Which is just rare on its own, guys. It's just looking for the bearish case to realize, you know, can this be impulsive to the downside? You know, is this a wave 1? We're looking for a wave 2. The only way right now that I do have is, you know, looking at an expanding move. There's no 5-wave impulsive move down in this range of this week, okay? There isn't any. So you have to come with some different ideas saying, you know, how can we count this? Now, the only one that I come up with is an expanding, you know, wave 5 here to the upside. We've had a 3-wave structure in between, right, Thursday and Friday. And now this is your first initial wave to the downside, which is already looking rare because you have a 3-wave move down. So it's like, yeah, an expanding wave to the downside is just already rare. If you count this as an ABC, this is having a 3-waver, so this cannot be a wave 1. It's just not looking good for the bears, I have to say. However, okay, does that mean that the low is in then? If you're so confident that this is an impulse, right? It's an A wave or a 1 wave, right? It has 5 waves, right, to the upside. Is the low in then? Or are we just going to start playing around still with more 3 waves and 3 waves? Now, there is this scenario over here which I want to explain very rapidly because this is just a very long, complex correction, right? And we're just forming more waves, right, throughout the days. And it's just getting too long, guys. This has been a week of correction, right? Where we're like, come on, we're going to head up to the highs. However, this is not happening. Anyway. The bullish case scenario, looking at this as a corrective structure, is that we have that 3-wave move down. Inside and between Wednesday and Friday, we have a zigzag to the upside in W, a flat in your wave X, and then another zigzag to the upside throughout Friday in your wave Y, finishing your X wave. So basically WX right over here. And now possibly Y, which has been very fast throughout Friday and Saturday, which is just a 3-wave move down, forming a double zigzag, right? The end idea here is that you got a zigzag. You do have a zigzag here in a WXY. You got the zigzag, you got the flat, you got another zigzag right here, which is a double zigzag in your wave X. And now you have another zigzag in Y right there, forming your WXY double zigzag. You know, this is just getting a little bit, there's just so many different scenarios. Regardless, we're still looking at this as a correction. Now, there is one problem here. Is this the end? Or maybe this is not the end, because we do have a 3-wave move down here, which means we could have a 3-wave move up here and then another 3-wave move down to then get an aggressive move down, just finally sweep up the lows, get below $95,000, even $94,000, right? Get the aggressive move, and then finally get the run up here to $102,000. It is still an option, guys. It is still an option. We could have a zigzag, okay, a double zigzag here still in your wave Y. It is a possibility. I have to lean on, maybe there's going to be one more low, guys, just like we've seen the last few days. Maybe one more low, maybe one more low, maybe another low. We are still considering local double bottoms, right? Triple, quadruple, right, at this point. And still interested in the sweep of the lows and getting in the trade. Stop loss at the low. Be defensive once you get that movement up. Let's see if this has been, the low. So, guys, Still interested in longs, in a long position myself from lower. Let's see if we do get that push to $102,000 in the next couple of days, but still interested in the longs. Missed the short from the rejection of the naked point of control, okay? And still interested in the longs. Bearish case scenario locally is that we get another leg to the downside, and this ends up in a zigzag, zigzag, another zigzag. We've got a double zigzag right there in a WXY. Most important levels, golden pockets from the pivot low of last Monday to the pivot high of Tuesday. We still haven't hit the golden pocket. Golden pockets still an option. Double bottom still an option. Hit the golden pocket, long stop loss. We're looking for the leg up here in the next coming days. This might have been the low already, okay? Like I explained, this might have been the low. If we get an aggressive move down, we get no reaction from the lows or the golden pocket. My favorite level is this pivot low, okay? This pivot low is a great swing failure pattern because ever so slightly beneath that level, we do still have a naked point of control, right? That's from the price action of Monday. Monday has left us a nice high volume node in this range, okay? Where we do have the potential, okay, of getting a sweep of the low, hit the naked point of control, and treat this as an SFB. You're long on the recovery, stop loss at the low. Let's see if this is finally the low. I do believe, based on the analysis, that this could be the low, guys, right? This could also be the low where you have that zigzag right there. It is very much possible. You've got a zigzag. Okay, that's finishing the double zigzag here in the WXY. And now we're just forming a wave 1, 2. All right, we're just forming the multiple 1-2s, 1-2s, and we're going to start pumping 3, 4, 5, 4, 5. We're finishing that third wave, another fourth wave, and then 5, right? So, you know, it is possible that the low it could be in, okay? Finally. If not, wait for the levels, guys. We're still looking at the same strategy. Sweep up the lows, boom, boom, entry, stop loss. You get to the golden pocket, perfect, treat it as so, as an SFP. You're long the recovery, stop loss beneath the low. If you break down aggressively, I'm looking for this pivot low, which is near that naked point of control for the guideline. Boom, we're longing on the recovery, stop loss at the low. Still looking for higher, guys. For any shorts, I'm really not that interested. We got above the session volume profile, the previous day value levels, right? Which is looking good on its own. I'm not really interested in a short position. There is a naked point of control here from Friday's price action. That could get a little bit of reaction. It could be a zigzag right there and we roll over. The problem is here that we do have incredible bullish CVD divergence on the higher time frame, right? So the overall idea based on the bullish CVDs is that we got lots of shorts throughout this week and we're forming higher lows and the target zone is above $102,000. So there could be a problem here where we are forming some bearish CVD divergence locally, at least on Bybit. There's lots of longs entering here, so there is a chance that we do form those lower highs and higher highs on the CVD. We ever so slightly forming higher highs from this pivot, so that is a problem. That means that we could take out the low one more time as explained, but still interested in the long positions at these specific levels, guys. Don't long randomly with limit longs because, you know, and no stop losses. This could break down. We go to $90,000. It could happen, okay? But over the high probability looks like that we're going to finally end up pushing to the upside, okay? Not much more has to be said. I'm not that interested in shorts. I don't see a clear short trade. I mean, we could get a little reaction at the naked point of control here from the price action of Friday. Yeah, 50% Fibonacci. There's just really not much confluence. I am leaning on the side that a possible reversal could be happening here very, very soon, okay? Which, you know, the end could have been in already here on this corrective structure, okay? Which is just finishing that Y right there. We're going to start moving up or get one more low, okay? Stay safe with your trading. I'll be back tomorrow with the live streams, legends. Subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you in the next one.